Summer, 1961. America pulsed with the optimism of a new decade, the shadow of war a distant memory for many. Baseball, the national pastime, was at its zenith, and the roar of the crowd was the soundtrack to countless summer evenings. In New York, the venerable Yankee Stadium, a cathedral of sport, stood ready to witness history. What began as a promising season for the New York Yankees would soon transform into an intense, unrelenting spotlight on one man, and a chase for a record that many believed was untouchable. This was the year a quiet slugger from North Dakota would challenge a legend, changing the game forever. For 34 years, Babe Ruth's monumental 1927 season, capped by 60 home runs, stood as an almost mythical achievement. It was a benchmark etched into the very fabric of baseball, synonymous with the Sultan of SWAT's larger-than-life persona. Ruth didn't just play the game, he revolutionized it, turning the home run into the sport's ultimate spectacle. His record wasn't just a number, it was a cultural icon, representing an era of power and dominance. To even approach it was to invite comparison with the immortal, a challenge few dared to dream of, let alone pursue with any seriousness. The 1961 season brought a significant change to Major League Baseball, an expanded schedule. For the first time, teams would play 162 games, 8 more than the traditional 154-game slate that had been standard since 1904. This seemingly minor alteration, aimed at increasing revenue and expanding the game's reach, would unknowingly become the focal point of one of baseball's most heated debates. Little did anyone realize that these additional games would cast a long, controversial shadow over an impending record chase, creating an unforeseen layer of complexity and contention for any player daring to challenge Ruth. Roger Maris, a quiet, reserved right fielder for the New York Yankees, was not the typical slugger of legend. Acquired from the Kansas City Athletics in 1960, Maris was a two-time All-Star and the reigning American League MVP. He was known for his powerful swing and exceptional defense, but his demeanor was starkly different from the gregarious showmanship of Babe Ruth. Maris preferred to let his bat do the talking, shying away from the media spotlight. This unassuming nature would prove to be both a strength and a profound vulnerability as the pressures of the 1961 season began to mount around him. As the 1961 season unfolded, the Yankees' offense became a two-headed monster. Roger Maris and his teammate, the charismatic superstar Mickey Mantle, launched home run after home run. The media, ever eager for a catchy narrative, quickly dubbed them the M&M Boys. Fans reveled in their prodigious power, marveling as both players kept pace, threatening to break all previous records. For a time, the chase was a shared, exhilarating spectacle, a friendly competition between two of baseball's biggest stars. This initial, light-hearted atmosphere, however, would soon give way to an intense, singular focus, changing the dynamic forever. By mid-July, the home run race was heating up dramatically. Mantle, the fan favorite, led with 35 home runs, a number that pleased the press and the public. But close behind, with 33, was the less heralded Roger Maris. It was around this time that Maris, with his unassuming demeanor, began to outpace Mantle more consistently. The shift was subtle at first, but as Maris continued to connect, the media's attention, previously divided, started to zero in on him. An unexpected narrative began to emerge: the quiet new kid, rather than the beloved superstar, was the one truly threatening Ruth. As Maris's home run total climbed past 30, then 40, the ghost of Babe Ruth became an increasingly palpable presence. The once friendly rivalry with Mantle receded into the background. Maris was now pitted against history itself. Every swing was dissected, every game a chapter in an unfolding drama. The pressure mounted with each passing day, fueled by relentless media comparisons to Ruth. This wasn't just about hitting a baseball anymore, it was about challenging a legend, questioning the sanctity of a record held by an almost divine figure in American sport. Maris found himself in an unfamiliar, uncomfortable spotlight. Then, on July 11, Commissioner Ford Frick, a former ghostwriter for Babe Ruth himself, made a controversial announcement that forever altered the dynamic of the race. He decreed that if the existing record of 60 home runs was broken after the 154-game mark, the new record would be listed with an asterisk or a distinctive note in the record books. Frick's rationale was that Ruth achieved his feat in a shorter season, implying an inherent unfairness. This ruling ignited a firestorm, instantly raising the stakes and placing an enormous, unfair burden squarely on Maris's shoulders. Frick's ruling turbocharged the media frenzy. Every newspaper, every radio broadcast, every sports reporter descended upon Maris, not just to track his home runs, but to question the legitimacy of his potential achievement. The asterisk became a constant, nagging presence, diminishing the grandeur of his chase even before the record was broken. Maris, a man who loathed the spotlight, was now under a microscopic examination, his quiet resolve tested by an insatiable press corps. This wasn't merely reporting, it was a cultural interrogation, turning a sporting triumph into a philosophical debate about fairness and tradition. Adding another layer of immense pressure was the public's clear preference for Mickey Mantle. Mantle was the golden boy, the charismatic superstar beloved by fans across the nation. Many openly rooted for Mantle to break Ruth's record, and when his pace slowed due to injury later in the season, some fans turned hostile toward Maris. Maris, perceived as an outsider and a threat to sacred tradition, received hate mail and even boos in his home stadium. That asterisk controversy further alienated him, painting him as a lesser successor, despite his incredible performance. Maris was not just fighting the pitchers, he was fighting public opinion. The relentless pressure began to take a severe toll on Roger Maris. The constant media attention, the hostile fan reactions, and the weight of the asterisk controversy manifested physically. Maris began losing his hair in clumps, suffered from stomach ulcers, and visibly lost weight. He found it difficult to sleep, often waking up drenched in sweat. His quiet nature, once a shield, now became a burden, as he struggled to process the public's judgment. He wasn't just hitting home runs, he was enduring a gauntlet of emotional and physical exhaustion, pushing his limits in a way few athletes ever experience. Despite the unbearable strain, Maris refused to crack. In August, typically a grueling month for sluggers, he found an incredible surge of power, smashing 13 home runs. This performance, amidst the storm of criticism and controversy, was a testament to his mental fortitude and sheer determination. Each towering drive was a defiant answer to his detractors, a step closer to the record, regardless of the asterisk that loomed. The summer of '61 was no longer just a baseball season, it was a psychological battle, and Maris, against all odds, was still standing, his bat a beacon of unwavering focus. As September began, the home run watch became a national obsession. Maris entered the month with 51 home runs, placing him firmly on pace to challenge Ruth. Every pitch he saw, every at-bat he took, was fraught with tension. The expanded schedule meant the drama would extend beyond the traditional 154-game cutoff, adding an extra layer of anticipation and dread for Maris. The sporting world held its breath, divided between those who longed for history and those who clung to Ruth's untouchable legacy, all fixated on the quiet slugger's every move as the calendar pages dwindled. September 20, 1961. This was the day that mattered most to Commissioner Frick and the Ruth purists. It was the Yankees' 154th game of the season. Maris stood at 59 home runs, tantalizingly close to Ruth's mark. If he hit one, it would be official. The stadium crackled with anticipation, the weight of history pressing down on Maris. But he failed to connect, remaining at 59. The clock had run out on the clean record. The psychological impact was immense, he had reached Ruth's mark, but not under the conditions deemed legitimate by the establishment. The asterisk was now inevitable, a silent, public condemnation. Despite the disappointment of Game 154, Maris pressed on. The immediate aftermath was a fresh wave of media scrutiny, focused entirely on the asterisk and the legitimacy of his continued chase. Yet, Maris, with a quiet stubbornness, kept playing. The personal battle against the record, the media, and his own physical toll continued. Each game, each at-bat now existed in a strange limbo, simultaneously historic and, to some, diminished. The pressure did not abate, if anything, it intensified, as he continued to pursue a record that, even if broken, many still refused to fully acknowledge. On September 26, in the Yankees' 158th game, Roger Maris finally equaled Babe Ruth's legendary mark. Against the Baltimore Orioles, he launched his 60th home run of the season. The stadium erupted, a mix of genuine excitement and the lingering unease of the asterisk. While the feat was undeniable, the celebration felt muted, tainted by the commissioner's ruling. Maris himself, visibly relieved, felt the weight of history momentarily lift, but he knew the ultimate goal, and the ultimate controversy, still lay ahead. He had tied the immortal, but the narrative of lesser still clung to his accomplishment. October 1, 1961. The final game of the season. In the bottom of the fourth inning, facing Tracy Stallard of the Boston Red Sox, Roger Maris stepped to the plate. With a powerful swing, he sent the ball soaring into the right field stands. It was home run number 61. The crowd roared, the umpire signaled, and Maris circled the bases, alone in his triumph. He had done it. He had broken Babe Ruth's hallowed record. The moment was momentous, yet the relief on Maris's face was palpable, overshadowing any outward display of jubilation. It was the end of an ordeal, a testament to his grit under unprecedented pressure. The immediate aftermath of Maris's 61st home run was complex. While many celebrated the new record, the asterisk hung heavy in the air, a constant reminder of the controversy. Media reports were often quick to qualify his achievement, emphasizing the 162-game schedule versus Ruth's 154. Maris, still exhausted and emotionally drained, offered no grand proclamations. He had faced down a legend, the media, and a commissioner's decree, emerging victorious but scarred. His achievement was undeniable, yet the cultural narrative surrounding it remained fragmented, reflecting a deep-seated reverence for the past and a reluctance to fully embrace the present. For 3 decades, Roger Maris's record remained officially burdened by Commissioner Frick's asterisk. It was a constant historical footnote that, to many, diminished the incredible pressure and talent required to achieve 61 home runs. However, in 1991, Major League Baseball officially recognized Maris's 61 home runs as the sole and undisputed single-season record, removing the asterisk entirely. This long-overdue rectification finally gave Maris the full, unequivocal credit he deserved, though it came years after his passing in 1985. It was a quiet acknowledgement of the unfairness he had endured, finally validating his place in history. Roger Maris's 1961 season stands as one of baseball's most compelling narratives, not just for the numbers, but for the sheer human drama involved. It was a testament to his resilience, his quiet strength in the face of immense, unfair pressure, a relentless media, and a divided public. Maris didn't seek the spotlight, but he endured it, breaking a sacred record under conditions that would have crumbled lesser men. His chase for 61 home runs revealed the profound cultural significance of baseball's records and the unforgiving nature of fame, cementing Maris's legacy as more than just a slugger, but as a hero who quietly conquered history.